Hey everybody, this is Young Living Diamond Sarah Harnish, and I'm the author of Unstuck, How to Talk to Humans and Get Them to Respond to You, and this is day 5 of our action video. So great job sticking with it this far. Super proud of you, and it's neat to be able to hang with you for more than just a couple of days at a time, so I'm really enjoying the one-on-one time with you guys. These are very short videos, so if you're not sure exactly what you stumbled onto here, Unstuck is a book that just gives you some skills training for Young Living, and the number one goal is to be able to get an audience in front of your face, to be able to help you connect with that audience and then ultimately lead that audience to a starter kit. So I've already shot full form videos for Unstuck, and you can find those on the oilabilityteam.com website. If you click on Unstuck Bootcamp, you'll find all 20 days of videos there. We're on day 5 out of 20, so you're doing great for hanging with me this long. But if you click on it, you'll see that it's really clearly labeled on day 1. There's the full video, and then directly under it, you'll find those action steps videos so you can share them with your team. So if you've got leaders that just really need kind of this tight version of what's going on, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Some people really just enjoy getting into the book and the workbook and having that heart training, and the longer videos, it's just hard for them to stick with, and you want to see your team completing the boot camp. So my recommendation is that you guys watch the first and last video, the full video together as a team, kind of as kickoff and ending videos, but then you utilize these little tiny ones just to keep them on track. And if it's something that they really struggle with, use it in your trainings when you're doing your mentoring and your coaching with your leaders. Say, hey, let's talk about fear. Here's a good full form video you can watch on fear. You can utilize pieces of Unstuck Bootcamp with your team. But these are just designed to help you get them through boot camp. So today we're talking about chapter 13, 14, and 15, which is how to collect contact information. You're telling me to do things that I've already tried, and then fear, which is really one of the foundational principles of this entire book. It's just a phenomenal training book. Many people have asked me, what's the difference between Unstuck and Game Plan? Game Plan trains on the whole business. It just gives you an overview of Young Living as a whole. Everything from understanding your virtual office to where to place people to how you get paid. Just very simple, tiny little short chapters. Unstuck is skills training, because if you don't know how to listen to people, and you don't know how to get that audience in front of you, and you don't know how to go from your warm market with 5 or 10 people on your team to growing to 60 or 100 or 200 or 10,000 on your team, that's what this book is about. It's about getting that audience in front of your face. So our oil of the night for day 5, and then I'll shoot the day 6 video right after this one, is Northern Lights Black Spruce. It is my second favorite oil in Young Living. It's also my courage oil, and we're talking about fear, so it's a great oil for that. So what I'm going to do is I just give you the oil of the night, give you a couple of takeaways, and then I give you some homework. Our oil of the night, Northern Lights Black Spruce, takeaways from these 3 chapters. I love this quote: every day that you're frustrated, He's still faithful. Like, God's still the author of your business. He still brought this to you, and it's still worth fighting for. So collecting contact information, my one takeaway from that chapter is just add them on Facebook. Just before you walk away, it's amazing. I very, very rarely have people say, you're creepy, I don't really want to friend you on Facebook. And the reason for that is there's a safety distance there. They can unfriend you when you walk away if you super creep them out. They can block you. Most people are still going to tell you yes. So you've at least got that connection with them when you walk away, especially if it's somebody that you don't even know who they are. If you're not collecting their contact information when you're having conversations with them, you are giving your paycheck away, especially if you're handing out purple bags or any tools or resources, you're giving that check away. You don't want to do that. For this chapter, you're telling me to do things I've already tried. I want you to get that out of your head. Just ban that entire line of thought out of your head. You got to train your brain to think like a network marketer. And that means getting to events, getting to convention, getting to your team's classes and events, engaging with your upline and with your downline on their Facebook pages. So how many times are you popping on your team's page and just engaging in some of the content that's being put out there? Getting good things in your head. So whether it's from Jim Rohn on YouTube or Mel Robbins or Eric Worre, they're all wonderful trainers and teachers. And the biggest thing is just stopping that thought process that this isn't possible for you. Because it is possible for you. If it's possible for a mom from the projects with 12 years of living off of the Salvation Army and making $6,000 a year for a family of 7 and working 4 jobs, then it is possible for you. You guys have more talent in your pinky finger than I have in my whole body when I started this business. So you got to get that line of thought out of your head and just banish it. Fear is one of my favorite chapters in the entire book. And what's my main message on this chapter? You're not going to like it, especially if you're afraid. I want you to do things that scare you, like purposefully, with intent, go do things that scare you. If you're afraid of closing, go close 100 times, 100 times. If you're afraid of people, go get in front of people. If you're afraid of follow-up, then go do follow-up 5 hours a day for an entire week until you get to a point where you're like, all right, this is truly not as bad as I thought it was when I first got into this. I want you to work on your weaknesses so your weaknesses don't keep you from this business. How do I get over fear? Whenever I'm doing something that I'm really afraid of, which is pretty much every day because I'm a real chicken butt, I live every single day knowing that my future is not contingent on me. It actually has very little to do with me. It's contingent on a great big God that loves you more than you can even imagine. More than you can imagine. And so you don't control your future. You only control right now. God says he's in charge of next and you're in charge of now. So focus on right now. Don't focus on that stuff that's later on. So chapter 13, I'm going to delve right into the Unstuck workbook. If you don't have this, you are missing out. Let me just tell you, you're missing out. Let me flip this over, and we're just going to take a look at what the homework assignments are for chapter 13, 14, and 15. So 13, we're going to talk about how to collect contact information, and I want you to write down some of the things you've already swapped for Young Living that you no longer buy at the store, just a brief list. Those are your passion places. That's your heart, and that's a place that I'd start sharing. So that's how you're going to open up a conversation with new people using some things off that list above. And then you close the conversation by saying, I want to make sure you're okay. Is it okay if I friend you on Facebook? Or a similar sentence that just feels more comfortable to you. Write down your leading sentence to capture contact information below. And then we take it to the next level. I'm going to have you practice it for reals. See, reals made it in the book. If you're unfamiliar with the people and you have to collect somebody's contact information, I want you just to practice listening to their needs. And so check up the boxes every single time you make a contact. What about closing your classes with confidence? You just practice it. So practice bringing those classes to a head. Chapter 14 is you're telling me to do things I've already tried. Now, what are some of the facts that just wowed you at the start of the chapter? And this, I think, is really important. How do you think people perceive you? Check everything that applies. Do they think you have a negative tongue? Do you speak with sarcasm, with despair? Do you have no fire or passion? It's just wah, 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 wah. Do you exude weariness every time you speak? Is that something people want to follow? Are you posting divisive things on social media? Are you indecisive? Do you lack confidence? Do your facial expressions or body language don't match your speech? So what do you think you can do to rectify the way that people perceive you? If you feel like you need to be fake to pull that off, or can you find this genuine, authentic you that it is still magnetic to the people around you? What's that missing link between you and the person that's around you? And if you're still stuck and you're still having no kit sales, these are some speakers that have really inspired me. And I want you to do some train your brain sessions. Just start putting good truth in your head instead of listening to all that garbage that's around you that you cannot, gosh, guys, you can't listen to that stuff or you're not going to be able to build this business. Nina, I love you. Ruth says, I love the book. Nina says, the workbook is intense. It is. The workbook is really where all the heart training truly happens with Unstuck. So if you don't have it, I'm really, truly not trying to get another book in your hands. It's just, I want you to be able to tear this apart on your level. And this is the way that I connect with you. And so then I also put in some of my favorite diamond resources too. Snag some of those. Just take 30 days. You have permission to take 30 days. Not teach a class. I said that came out of my mouth. Not teach a class and just fill your head with stuff that is truth so you're not believing garbage and you're not letting Satan in your head to fill your head with things that you're not possible. Anybody can grab a script and sit down on a couch and read it to somebody next to them. Anybody can grab the PowerPoint off of our website and just click on the pictures and read the words under the pictures. The question is, how are people perceiving you? And if they have a perception problem with you, then you need to fix that, right? And you fix that by getting good things in your head, by stopping believing the things that you're believing right now. Then chapter 15 is fear. If you put all of your time into training and none of your time into implementing classes, you're not going to see growth in Young Living. And you're not going to see growth in any other network marketing business. It's not going to happen. No matter, you can jump ship from one to the next, to the next, to the next. This is why I think people think that it doesn't work. They're living in this place of fear and they're not willing to step out. They draw a line in the sand and say, I'll do everything but teach classes. I'll do everything but pick up the phone and connect with a person that I didn't sign up. Everything but do follow up. Everything but this. Everything but that. When you draw your butts in the sand, you don't build your business. You got to step over those things and not let fear own you. So I want you to make a list, truly make a list of things that just terrify you in this business, the things that you're afraid of. And you know what I'm going to ask, because I've already had you gallivanting around practicing closes on people and collecting contact information. This is like the most legit action you've ever gotten out of a workbook, right? But it works. You're practicing actions that lead to direct business growth. So here's what I want you to do. Face your fears. Go face them. You know exactly what you need to do. If you're afraid of talking to people, you're afraid of talking to your closest friends, then go pick one of your closest friends and teach a one-on-one class. Pick your biggest naysayer and go teach a one-on-one class. Because I just want to show you can do it. I don't even care what their reaction is. So when you've done the thing that scares you the most in the business, I want you to do a coloring exercise inside this book. I want you to write inside the box, I faced my fear, and then color with a dozen colors and doodles. And I'm so proud of you because you just took 10 steps forward in your business by sitting down and saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to do some of the stuff that scares me. So you read my story about an identity crisis. What are you placing your identity in? Is it in your work? Is it in your family? Is it in being a mom or dad? Is it in being a caregiver or volunteer for something you're really passionate about? Is your identity a hobby? Who are you? Who are you? When you know who you are, then the decision of where you're going is much easier. So I want you to live every day knowing who you are. Who you are. And the practice comes in facing some of these fears. So go do the worksheets for those 3 chapters, 13, 14, 15. And when you're through it, at your own pace, don't feel like you need to rush through this, then go ahead and join me for video number 6. If it's an action step video or a full video, I'm not going to beat you up either way. You do this boot camp at the pace that you can handle it. I love you so much. Now it's time to get out there and go face those fears.